If you're working with a brand new GA4 account or have been using one for a while, there's some interesting features that you can find with a deep dig into the property settings. And when I say property settings, I don't mean just the setting here in the administrative area, but all the options in this column. They're all property settings. I often find that people don't really dig into these settings before they get started, and so they're surprised later by the results. So it's important to take the time to see everything that's in there before you get going. The actual property settings themselves are fairly basic. Name, category, time zone, currency, that's about it. And I'm going to skip data streams because we cover that in depth in another video in this course. And we're going to move on to data settings, which has 3 sections: data collection, retention, and filters. Data filters is covered further in the video, implementing data filters in GA4. And data collection is where you'll get Google Signals and other data collection settings. And if you haven't changed anything here yet, it'll probably look like this. Even if you have already turned Google Signals on for your universal properties, you'll need to do that again here specifically for GA4. Google Signals is how Google can add cross-device reporting for signed-in users, specifically signed-in users to Google, and you can read more about it on Google's site here. Your ability to use Google Signals might depend on your existing privacy policy and data protection laws in your jurisdiction. I strongly recommend reviewing those before turning the setting on. Also in this section, you can alter your ads, personalization regions, and acknowledge that you have the necessary disclosures to be collecting this information. To learn more about data privacy, please check out the course Understanding and Prioritizing Data Privacy on the LinkedIn Learning Library. Let's move on to data retention. By default, event data retention is only set to 2 months, and the maximum you can increase this to is 14 months. This means that after 2 or 14 months, you'll still have access to data in the aggregated basic reports in GA4, but you won't be able to dig in deeper in exploration reports. I absolutely recommend setting this to 14 months, and then make sure to set up the BigQuery integration. That is how you can keep that data beyond the 14-month limit. Data importing, we cover further in the video, importing data into GA4. And I recommend leaving the default reporting identity as by user ID and device, even if you aren't using user ID. We cover user ID further in the video implementing user ID tracking in GA4. Attribution settings are an area that's still under development, but it really shows potential. Right now, you can only select 2 possible models in the reporting attribution model options. I cover these attribution model comparison reports in the video Attribution Modeling in GA4, also in this course. You should also review your look-back window. By default, acquisition conversion events are set to 30 days, and all other conversion events are set to 90 days, but you might want a shorter window depending upon the length of your own sales cycle. Data deletion in GA4 is much easier than it was in Universal, and you have a lot more options for it. I strongly recommend reading this help article from Google in full before submitting any data deletion requests. Once the data is deleted, it cannot be recovered. Finally, I cover the product linking options in depth in the video Product Linking in GA4, also in this course. Now that we've reviewed all the property settings, you'll be able to outline all the different options for your GA4 property before you start putting data into it.